every property comes with a lesson, every single one. So we have like a couple properties, honestly, within like a 2-mile radius that we flipped in the last 3 years. So every time I'm riding past them, I'm always reminded of that lesson. So I figured for a third degree, it would be dope if I shot one long video of me going to every single property and sharing those lessons with you all. So put your seatbelt on and hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so here's a property. This was actually my first partnership, full-blown 50-50 partnership. So that was the lesson with this property was, I'll put the window down so you guys can see better. This property actually taught me partnerships in and out, and that it's not all about, hey, you bring 50% of the money, I bring 50% of the money. When we partner, it's not really about that. It's about the different resources and the different reach that you get when you partner with people. So on this deal, my partner was undergoing some credit repair. He needed someone else to guarantee the loan, and that's where I came in. And then on the flip side, I didn't have any properties at the time. We were wrapping up one of our other flips. We didn't have anything in the pipeline, and he actually brought this one to the table. So it was a win-win for both of us. We brought 50% of the money to the table, and we walked away each with 50% of the profits. And this property right here actually made over $120,000, actually 125, and we split that right down the middle. And this is one of our doper flips that we've ever done. So this is one of my most profitable flips. We literally made $125,000, all to me, no partners, other than Kate, who's behind the camera right now. But this property gave me a very valuable lesson, and that was posturing and positioning, which I can go on all day about in regards to like real estate. But here specifically, it was in the inspection. So on this property, we actually had it under contract for $70,000, which means we were set to make about 60 grand on the deal, 70 grand. But we were willing to walk away because of something that was in the inspection, and it's also in a flood zone. Now, we were the second buyer to come to the table. They actually went with another buyer. That buyer backed out, so we were the second one. So understanding that we were not only the second buyer, but there was issues with the property that may cost a good amount of money, but not $70,000. We literally reduced our offer from $170,000 to $100,000, and they accepted the offer, all because we were willing to walk. The way that we postured and positioned ourselves was perfect, and ultimately it resulted in us making $70,000 more. That's such a valuable lesson, not just in real estate, but in everything. It's like the classic saying, he who cares the least holds the most power. And in that deal, you know, we simply had the most power. They weren't willing to walk away and have to start all over with another buyer. We were, because we cared the least, right? And we ultimately held the most power and walked away with a 6-figure check at the end of it. All right, we're at one more property, but unlike the last two that made $125,000 each, this one right here made a whopping $0. No profits on this property. As gorgeous as it looks and as great of a job we did and as fast as it sold, no profits. But deals like that come with the best lessons. So, you know, where there's an L, there's a lesson. This is an L, we broke even, but the lesson is, be stern. The numbers are the numbers. I, as a real estate investor for, you know, over 3 years at this point, know better than to start changing my numbers around. But on this deal right here, we set out front just like we are now when we got it under contract, and we said this property is worth $225,000. We'll maybe go to $230,000, and we can still make the profits happen. And we ended up buying the property for $252,000. So we allowed our desperation for another property, our desperation to keep the money rolling, keep the ball rolling, to short us over $20,000, right? If we would have stayed firm on our $225,000, maybe the seller would have said no. Maybe they would have said no and came back. Maybe we wouldn't have gotten the property at all. I don't know. I'm still toying with whether this was worth it or not, because, you know, when you break even, a lot of your team members get paid. You get a lot of experience with it. So sometimes a break even is worth it in the flip game. But I know that we definitely could have gotten an easy $25,000 to $30,000 more just by staying stern on our numbers, staying stern on what we know, and that's the actual deal evaluations and formulas and not emotions. All right, headed to our last property. These three that we just went to were in back-to-back towns. Now this was actually in the same town, but it's up the hill a little bit. So gotta go for a little adventure, a little 8-minute adventure. All right, guys, last and certainly least, I was hesitant to even come back here because this lesson just burns so much. We went over 2 properties that, you know, were profitable. We went over one where we broke even, but this is the one, guys. This is the L. This is the L that we took. It's the second project I ever did, and we actually lost on this property. We lost money. I don't even want to disclose how much money we lost, but it's obviously beautiful. We obviously did a good job, but the mistake that we made was comps. Classic mistake, rookie mistake that many, if you guys are watching this because you want to learn, many of you will make the same mistake. So hopefully this video will help you avoid it. Stay off Zillow. Zillow is not a comp. Zillow is not going to tell you how much a property is worth. You gotta actually look at the market, use a realtor, use experts, right? Become an expert. Don't just open your phone. We sat outside the property like this. My partner and I, he pulled up on his phone, Zillow. We looked at properties that were for sale, 600,000, all these astronomical properties. And so we decided to buy it. We bought it at 365 and we flipped it, and it sold for $100,000 less than what we thought it was gonna sell for. And this time it wasn't because we paid too much for it. The reason why is because we didn't do the proper work to it. Because we went off Zillow, and when you go off Zillow, it doesn't give you all the details that you need to know what you need to do to achieve the price that maybe these other houses or comps, Zillow comps. On this one, we needed to add a bathroom. It had a half bath. We should have made it a full. We didn't, to save budget. Ended up losing us money. Like idiots, this is before I had my philosophy of putting central air in every property. We didn't put central AC. It had baseboard. Baseboard was cool. You know, we from the hood. I'm from where you got a radiator heat or plug-in heat. This one had baseboard. We were okay with it. Instead, in a prominent or affluent neighborhood like this, we should have swapped it out for an HVAC unit, forced hot air, and central AC. Everything else, I mean, was good. Just those 2 things alone, not adding that extra bathroom and, you know, central AC. And then we had like no like amenity or like extra oomph, like a deck maybe we could have built on the back. I don't know, but long story short, because of that, we had these irregular comps and we couldn't get the dollar amount that we had anticipated to get. So before I get pissed off again, I'm gonna leave this property, but I hope you guys enjoyed these 4 lessons from 4 properties that I flipped in the general area. It was a lot of fun to reminisce and drive around and check out all 4 of these properties. But I don't know, hopefully this helps someone avoid losses, avoid break-evens, and I wish you guys a profitable flip journey. That's your, I guess, 3rd degree for today, or whatever. I'll come up with a cool name for the series. But in any event, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.